and if they don't, then they lose like they would now. You know what I mean? So for like the one slap knockouts, like the first round, like maybe give them a chance to return fire one time if they're not too bad. If they're just like a little wobbly, you know what I'm saying?
Thank you. AJ back here. Oh, my bad. But on the other day at Media Day, I asked you if you were able to take that first slap, how would you feel? So when you got back up on your feet and when you looked at Vern, what was going through your mind? And now that you knew that you could take a slap?
I mean, it felt good. Like that was the point that I knew I had it.
And then, so when you gave him the slap, you took out the mouthpiece immediately. Was there any doubt in your mind that this was over?
No, respectfully, I knew it was over.
All right, man. There we go. That's all I got for you.
AJ.
What's up, buddy?
So Dana said that Vern's slap was the best slap of all time. Do you think
it was? It was.
Do you think your slap was?
Oh yeah.
Beat that?
Yeah, I mean, they literally described us as Vern's hand being the unstoppable force and my chin being the unmovable object, and we just found out what happens. I mean, I'm a walking fucking paradox, bro.
And I keep reading that you've been slapped by a bunch of hardcore musicians. Who?
Yeah.
Who?
Actually, so the ones that you read about is Scythe Gang 666, and that's actually who wrote my my walkout song. They played a show in my basement last year, because they did a tour on the way to the Gathering of the Juggalos, and their Chicago date got canceled. And I seen them post about it online, like, oh, we can't do Chicago anymore. And I was at work just minding my own. I was like, just talking shit, because that's what I do. And I was like, y'all can come play in my basement. And they commented back instantly. They said, DM us. So I did, and they came and played in my basement.
Well, that's cool. I guess if you could have any musician give you a slap, who would it be?
It'd be Sullivan King or Kaiwachi.
I like it. Congrats, man.
Thank you.
I have a question for you, AJ.
What's up?
Despite the fact that you have stood toe-to-toe with the scariest guys in this sport, and you've defeated them, people still, for some reason, underestimate you. What are your thoughts about that?
I think it's funny. I mean, I get it. I think it's because of the way I carry myself. Because like, I don't really ever take anything seriously. I got a dude that's built like the fucking Terminator, trying to scare me. I'm just fucking smiling at him. You know what I mean? And I'm used to it.
So who do you want next? Who's next for you?
Everybody.
Yeah. Who's the most, besides you? Who's the most dangerous guy in Power Slap?
I'd have to say it'd be Wolverine or Donovan Cross.
Do you see yourself? I'm sorry if I missed this already. Do you see yourself fighting Wolverine at some point down the line?
I hope so. Me and him already agree that that would be a good match to see.
Sick. Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Hey, Jen, congrats on the win.
Thank you.
I know it's cliche, yes, sir. I know it's cliche to say, wildest dreams, and could you ever think it would have reached this level? But now that you're here, sitting on this podium, forget I told you so. How does this match what you visioned or what you put out there, however you prepared mentally and emotionally to get to this moment, and you got the belt in front of you?
You said, like, how did I prepare?
In comparison, no, not
Oh.
preparation, but like mentally, you said, okay, this is where I'm at, this is what I worked for, and this is how I envisioned it. How close was your vision to being here with us now?
I mean, it's like it went exactly like the way I seen it, and like, just I decided I wanted the belt, and that was that. I get what I want.
Excellent. And lastly, you mentioned multiple division champions. So
Yeah.
what are we doing? Are we moving down, up, or
I'm gonna move down to 185. And whoever has the belt then, respectfully, I'm gonna take it, and then I'm gonna defend that one a couple times, and then I'm moving up to heavyweight.
Excellent, sir. Congrats on the win.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Corey Swergos with Slap News. Congratulations, Chris.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Coming from North Dakota, did you ever think you'd be here today?
No, I didn't, but it's a blessing that I am here today, and I'm here to stay.
I know this week you had to do a dramatic weight cut. You weren't feeling very good. How did you feel tonight before your match?
I felt powerful. I felt unstoppable. I felt like it was my time, and it just felt like everything that I manifested was coming together, and I was just ready to eat.
Where'd that confidence come from?
Inside, I just feel like the way I grew up and everything, I just feel like if you really believe in something, I feel like you can get it done no matter what. It's obvious. Obviously, if you believe in something enough and you put enough effort towards it, you're gonna get that to where you want to be.
You have a great emotion when you perform in slap fighting. Where does that come from?
Tonight, I really don't know. I feel like it had a lot to do with the championship. I really wanted to show the people like I'm a fucking animal when I get on that stage, and I'm not an animal in the outside world. I'm a big-hearted guy, and I'm pretty easy to talk to. But when it comes to getting on that stage, I'm ready to eat.
Obviously, right on 3, you lay out that cannon. Did you know instantly?
Yes, sir. I told everybody before the fight all day, and yesterday that it was gonna be a one and done.
What is this going to do for you and your family?
Oh, it's gonna put us about 5 to 6 steps ahead in life.
I know you said that you wanted to quit your day job and make this a full-time gig. Is that a dream come true?
Yes, basically, I'm gonna be starting my own thing now. So, yeah, I think my dreams are coming true, and yeah, it is a dream come true.
Who do you have to thank to get you here today?
I gotta think. Originally the people that came up with power, like slap fighting, like just them doing it, and then putting the idea in Dana's head, and then Dana, taking the funds and putting everything together, getting all the medical, and you just feel safe up there. You feel like you can compete. You feel like it's a sport. I'm thankful for Dana and the Fertitta brothers and all the production team and all the camera crews, because it takes a lot of work and a lot of effort to do something like this.
So now that you're 5-0, where do you go from here?
I go to 6-0.
In the same weight class?
I think I want to defend my title a little, because there's a lot of people coming up and giving me hugs and saying, congratulations, I'm coming for you. So I like everybody that thinks they could come for me. I want them to come for me before I even move on, because I want to eat them alive.
If you could have one ideal candidate matchup, who would that be?
Oh, man. I don't even know, really. I was just talking earlier, but I don't want to say it out loud, because I don't want to start like a thing where it actually happens, because I just want to defend my belt for a little bit. But in the future, I just want to take out anybody that thinks that they can take out me. If they think they can take out me, then I'm willing to fight and move up weight. I'm 183 right now, so any day I can go up to 205. Been there my whole life.
You showed a lot of respect for Jesus Gaspar. What do you want to say to him?
Well, Jesus, I love you, bud, and I appreciate you out of all your matches, I think that was the best one you ever took in the hit, and it means a lot to me, because you know how much power I had to offer, and you took that hit like a champ, and I appreciate you.
Do you think you deserve the fight of the night bonus?
I think I was the only one out of all the fights to knock his opponent out in the first hit.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
You've said that you're an aspiring MMA fighter. So is that something you still want to do?
I was doing MMA just to blow off steam and stuff like that. I started training for that a couple months ago, actual training. I'm 3-2 with no training, so I don't know yet at the time. It depends on how Slap does, but either way, I just like to fight, and to do it the right way.
Would you kind of just, if Slap keeps going, well, do you want to kind of bounce back and forth, or if Slap goes the way you think it's going to go, are you just going to be a Slap fighter?
Yeah, if Slap takes off, then I think that I'm in a good position, and I think I can hold my position for a while. So I'd probably stick it out with Slap fighting, but I'm going to go a whole different route this time. I'm going to get my neck bigger. I'm just going to advance everything. I'm already strong, but I can be stronger.
The real question is, man, you look unstoppable. Is there anyone that can beat you?
I don't think so. There's going to be a day where I get set down. We all have a button. You hit that hard enough, no matter what, you're going to ring its bell. It's just the fact of how people are hitting. I've never left a mark on my opponent's face. I usually hit clean, and they're usually, you hit them clean, they're gone, So I just don't want to point out the button to everybody, because everybody will be going to sleep.
Awesome. Congrats, man.
Thank you, buddy.
Chris, congrats on the win.
Yes, sir.
Awesome job tonight. Who got the first call? Who got the first, like, we did it? This is it. Like, check me out, everybody. Did you catch my fight? Who got the first call?
Oh, I called my wife. She was texting me when I got back there, but my wife, she's like the only person I have, really my best friend. My grandma texted me, said good job. But other than that, like, I have 5 sons with my wife, and that's all I really look forward to, you know.
That's awesome, man. And last for me, if you can put it into words, how surreal is this? How insane, how crazy. There's celebrities here. You're in the UFC Apex when they've had some amazing UFC fight nights and whatnot. If you could just sum it up and, whatever you could, just let us know. Because your time might have been pressed earlier, but just, let it all out if you want. Or keep it short, whatever you want to do.
I would just say that being around people like this makes you want to be a better person. That's the only, like, that's an honest answer to that. Like, I feel like me surrounding myself with people like this is just going to make my life even better.
Excellent. Well done, and congratulations, champ.
Appreciate you, buddy. Thank you, guys.
Corey Swergoff, Slap News. OH,
IO, baby, IO. Let's go. Ohio in the house.
how you feeling, my man?
I feel great right now. Seriously, this opportunity was once in a lifetime. Didn't expect things to go as fast as they did, from last March to now, and then the fight itself went faster than I had planned. So I'm ecstatic and still just overjoyed right now.
Growing up on an ostrich farm, becoming a welder, could you ever imagine being here tonight?
No. I can't imagine anyone where I'm from can even fathom how I got here or how they can find themselves in a similar position in the future. Most people don't make it too far where I'm from other than either their parents' farm or, whatever blue-collar job they move on to next. So to be a representation of that feels great.
Azael had some strong confidence going into this match. I know it got to you. Was it personal at that point?
Not so much that it's personal that it was coming from him. It's personal because he's my opponent, and I have to kind of find those moments, call them a Michael Jordan moment, if you will, where I can take that little tiny thing that he says and use that as more motivation and fuel to be able to come out on top.
Actually getting up there and squaring against him, how was his skills compared to how you thought they would be?
I thought he was going to hit me a lot harder than he did.
When you hit him, did you know that it was over?
I didn't necessarily think it was over at that point, but definitely after he knocked his noggin on the table a little bit there, he was pretty well out on the way down. So I was pretty confident that by the time he stood up and walked towards the referee that they were going to end it for obviously his safety.
What is this going to do for you and your family?
I mean, like I've said before, and I'll keep saying until I'm done with all of this stuff up here, that's one door open to a million more. I can't even begin to explain the amount of things I'm going to be able to do just because of this organization and them giving me the opportunity to take this belt.
I know you're very proud of where you're from. Can you just explain to us what's going on there on the ground and what you'd like to see happen?
Ohio itself needs taken care of. There's been some tragedies going on all over the globe, but especially in Northeast Ohio right now, the train issues and stuff that have been going on and chemical-wise that people need taken care of need to be done, post-haste. And that's for anywhere, not just my state. And, people need to be taken care of in the right manner and, be held accountable for their actions. We're all held accountable for our actions out here, so why shouldn't they?
What do you want to do next?
What do I want to do next? I want to go home and hug my wife and kids is what I want to do next, but unfortunately I have to wait for that.
What about the next opponent?
I don't give a shit who it is. If whoever's calling and knocking at the door can keep calling and knocking. When the contract comes my way, I'll gladly sign it, and I'll see you at the table.
I think you're a great ambassador for the entire state of Ohio. You represent for, many people that are just like you that can aspire to have a dream. All the very best. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Appreciate all of you. Appreciate all you. Thank you for coming out.
Corey Sawyer got slap news. Wolverine, how glorious does it feel?
It feels pretty good. I mean, I went up against somebody that I've I guess been my nemesis for a few years now, and to go out there and do what I did, it's unreal.
You've known that this matchup was going to take place probably for the better part of a year. Are you finally glad it's over?
Yes, sir. I was getting antsy towards the back there, watching all the matches beforehand. But yeah, it's great that it's over now.
I mean, he had your number the first 3 times. How confident were you going into this matchup tonight?
I felt pretty confident. I had more weight on this time, but I mean, he's still a very, very tough guy. So, I ain't taking nothing away from him. It was just happened to be my night.
When you were heading out there and you were looking across at him, what was going through your mind?
That I needed to get ahead on the scorecard. I need to hit him harder than he hits me, and like I said, like everybody's seen, the last one went 27 rounds. So it's just, I didn't expect to get it done in one, and it's amazing.
Previously Darius had some issues with fouls. How important was it for you to have a clean match all the way through?
It was very important. I mean, I'm not somebody who fouls too very often, so and he had quite a few in our last match. So yeah, like I said, I was just trying to get ahead on the scorecard.
Yeah. When he put his mitt on your face, how did it feel compared to the previous slaps?
It felt the same. I know that hand all too well. It's hit me quite a few times, so but it told me that it was go time.
He's been stated that he's been hit in the head 150 times, and over half of them have been by you. Was that one you just gave the most impressive?
It was definitely the most impressive one for me because, when he went down, I didn't even realize it at first. It was a shock for me.
You dropped to your knees. What was that emotion that was rushing through you?
That I did something that I've been trying to do for years and beat the man who was undefeated.
Where do you want to go from here?
From here, I want to, defend this belt once or twice, and then hopefully they'll, I can go down a weight class because I'm at the bottom of this weight class, so I'd like to go down to a different one.
I mean, after that performance tonight, you better get used to this because you're going to be up here doing a lot of interviews after a performance like that. I appreciate you. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Wolverine back here. I remember talking to you at the first media day, and you were teaching me like the technique that you have for teaching someone else how to throw a slap. After that last battle that you guys had, did you change anything in your technique for this one?
No, I just wanted to make that. I just wanted to bring my third one up a lot faster, and just try to, I guess get to him quicker. So I tried to work on my speed, but that's about it.
And you said you were surprised when he was out of it. When you landed it, what was that initial thought? Did you think he was getting back up for the count?
I did. I seen him getting back up, and I thought that, he'll take that full minute to recover. But when he stumbled, when they asked him to walk there, it was an amazing feeling for me.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Ron, you've slapped a bunch of other places. How was this experience having the Dana White and everything behind it, just like the production, the lead up, the media, everything? How was this?
Man, this was awesome. I didn't even know half the people that they said was in the crowd. I didn't get to see them. I've been in the back, so to come here and the place was, it was, it's an amazing show, and it was awesome.
How does it compare to some of the places that you slapped before?
It was a lot bigger, and there's definitely a lot more money involved in it, and it was an awesome show, and it was this place is just awesome. I mean, it's amazing.
And finally, can you just talk about the experience coaching the guys, going through the Power Slap Road to the Title TV show? How was that experience, and is that something that you would do again?
I don't know if they'd want me to do it again. I mean, I would try to. I mean, that's my main goal is I just want to see this sport grow. I mean, win or lose, I love to just go out there and do it. And just to watch new people come in and want to do the sport and push it further and further along is just amazing for me.
Is there anything that you would like to see change? Because Dana says he's going to try and tweak it all.
No, not that I mean, I just have to wait and see what he changes. But, I mean, as for tonight, I loved the show. It was amazing.
Awesome. Congrats, man.
Thank you, sir.
Ron, congrats on the win. Amazing job. You know, in like the movies and stuff, you'll have like Rocky and Apollo Creed, like, oh, he finally got that dude. But this is real life. How satisfying is to get like the, you know, revenge on the biggest stage, on the biggest platform, my man.
It was really amazing, honestly. I mean, as you said, like I've said before, I've been trying to get at this guy for a few years now, and he's always had me beat. And then I ended up winning coaching this season, and then I ended up winning tonight. So it's just amazing for me.
And I'll piggyback off of Alex with the whole just capturing everything, being on this, the UFC backing this, and being on the, you know, just the top of, you know, exposure and all that being said and done. Who got that first call? That Adrian, we did it. Who got the first call tonight when you got that bell wrapped around you?
I still ain't had time to make no call yet, but I definitely wanted my fiance to come to the stage, and I gave her a kiss. So, yeah, I guess it would be her.
Well done, sir, and congratulations on the title.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everybody.
What's up, guys? Thanks for coming. I really appreciate you being here tonight. I guess I'll start with the social stats. We were the number 8 trend in the United States tonight. The live stream was over 1.1 million total views. Again, it takes a good 24 hours for social and all this other stuff. These guys are telling me this is the largest live stream on the internet on a Saturday. Performance of the night, AJ and Wolverine and Trujillo and Bell. They all won $10,000 each. So congrats to them. Who's got the first question? Go ahead, brother.
Obviously, you know, this is a learning on the job sort of experience. You know, you're putting on these events and everything like that. So I'm curious your reaction to the first live show you've put on, and how do you think tonight went?
I think it couldn't have gone any better. I mean, there's so many things about launching this thing and going into the finale that remind me of, you know, the early days of the UFC. The cast of this thing reminded me of the first season of the Ultimate Fighter, and the finale was like the finale of the Ultimate Fighter for this thing. It's very, very weird the way that this whole thing played out, but tonight was a monster success. This has been a huge weight on my shoulders for the last 2 months. I've been grinding to make this thing successful, and so has my team, Frank, and everybody else that was a part of this. You couldn't have scripted tonight any better.
How unique is a platform like Rumble where you can even have those views, the live views, right away, like almost immediately? How unique is it to have a product on that?
How do I think that it's what? Huh? How did we? Yeah, I mean, this thing has, well, if you looked at the social numbers that I've been posting and showing you guys, think about this. This thing is 8 weeks old. This didn't exist 8 weeks ago. Didn't exist. The social media channels for it didn't exist. None of this existed. We're over 1 billion views on TikTok alone, right? On Instagram, we did like 38.5 million views a week. And online with Rumble, the whole season did 15 million views globally. So, I mean, these are obviously massive numbers. And it also proves that this thing, like the UFC, is global. But the social and streaming numbers are just fucking nuts. I mean, the worst power slap post of the day did better than the best UFC post of the day on UFC's, social. So, yeah, no, this thing's a fucking monster, man.
those are the positives. Was there anything you saw tonight that you'd like to change moving forward?
You know, I'm kind of, tonight was so good. I'm just relieved and relaxed. You know, I'm super psychotic about live events and the television events and how they come off. That's why we spent a shitload of money on Thursday. We held a live event here on Thursday to practice for tonight, to make sure that tonight we're without a hitch. I didn't see anything tonight that upset me, that made me pick up the phone and call, you know, the truck. But we'll take it all in and talk over the next few weeks. What's going to happen now is we're going to do season 2 in Abu Dhabi, and I'm going to bring in the best guys in the world from Russia, Poland, Eastern Europe, South Africa, and wherever else in the world. You know, we end up finding some talent. We'll film the show there, and then those guys will take on the guys from this season.
Sounds like a Power Slap World Cup almost.
Huh?
It's like a World Cup for Power.
Exactly. Well, that's what I'm going to do immediately. I mean, listen, I know the formula for this stuff now, so we're going to move fast. And, you know, I got a 2-year deal with Rumble. So, and the Abu Dhabi deal, we're still working it out, but what I'd love to do is 2 years with them too, do season 2 and season 3 over there.
Obviously, you had the UFC tonight as well with Merab and Peter Yan. I'm curious, did you get to watch the main event, and what did you think of it?
Yeah, unbelievable fight. Usually Peter Yan sets the pace in those type of fights. Tonight, Merab set the pace and you know, put on a great performance, especially his first time going into championship rounds like that.
You've made no secret that you don't love it when a guy doesn't want to fight his teammate. And Merab is clear that he will not fight Aljamain Sterling, and he'll wait until Aljo moves up. So what do you do with him, right? Because you don't necessarily want to put him against other contenders, knock off other contenders before they can fight for the title. So what do you do with Merab?
It's so funny you say that, because I don't remember who the hell I was talking to the other day about this, and I was like, yeah, we don't have to deal with that bullshit anymore. You know, back in the early days, the camps were so small, you didn't have a lot of different options. So we had a lot of these guys saying, oh, he's my friend, he's my friend. You can still be friends and want what your friend has, you know what I mean? It would be a really bad idea for Merab to go down that path.
Is there a point where you sort of say, right, that's enough, you have a decision to make, or you have to move divisions, or what do you do with him?
Yeah, so does Merab want a shot at the title, or would Merab rather have people under him jump over him and him have to take on all these different tough guys when he's not even getting a title shot when he's next in line for it? That's a personal decision that he needs to make. If that's what he wants to do, I can tell you how that story ends. It's not a good ending to that story, but he's a big boy. He can figure that out on his own.
Corey Sawyer, Slap News. Dana.
Hey.
How proud are you of your team here tonight pulling this off?
Yeah, so we've been running hard. You know, we filmed this season of Slap, then had been planning for this live finale. We had the John Jones fight last weekend. We're filming The Ultimate Fighter at the same time. That ends Monday. We've got London coming up next weekend. I'm going to film Looking for a Fight starting Monday. We've been running hard, man. So my team has been working. I probably forgot a couple things, too. There's other shit in there, too. But, yeah, we've been going. So I'm very proud of my team. I say it all the time. Not only are we the best in all of sports, we're the best to ever do it. And that's a fact.
Power Slap seems very personal for you. What motivates you to make this successful?
Well, I started looking at this thing in 17, 18. After COVID, obviously I got a lot healthier. You know, when I started working with 10X, I feel like I'm 30 again. So I figured I'd take on, you know, this challenge and try to make it happen. And it's been good, you know, and I ain't gonna lie, the media has definitely motivated me through this whole thing. I was being a kind of a wise ass the other day at the press conference, but at the same time, I'm dead serious. Fucking bet against me. Bet against me. Tell me it's not gonna happen. Tell me it's gonna fail. I love it. I love every minute of it.
KO Chris, how bad of a man is he?
Yeah, he's incredible. I mean, this thing's just starting to grow, but, you know, as we continue to bring in more and more talent. I mean, you can tell. You guys know, and even the people who want to hate it, who want to hate this so bad, you cannot deny that this is fucking exciting. It's different. It's fun. And I think what happens with a lot of people, especially the media, the older media, is that anything new, anything that's different, anything that's, this is the same exact shit they said about the UFC. Exactly the same. This will never be like boxing. This stuff is disgusting. This isn't a sport. These guys aren't athletes. And one of the things that I love about the guys who compete in this, these guys are like real guys. These guys work. They're very middle America, Bible Belt, type people. Some of these guys work construction and have these other jobs, farmers. They have kids, they have families, and they see this as an opportunity, just like guys who were into mixed martial arts in the early days. And I love the stories behind these guys, and I love the competitive spirit that they have. So I know you guys can tell I'm so fucking into this. I haven't been this fired up since like 2008 or 10, I don't know, in that ballpark somewhere. But this has been a really fun challenge for me. I've really enjoyed it.
How far away are we from having these guys make slap their full-time career?
There's real money in this now, much like the UFC again. When we talked about, season 1 of The Ultimate Fighter, me and the Fertitta boys put up $10 million again to do this first season of Power Slap and the finale, and here we are again.
There were some incredible upsets tonight. Which one do you personally think was the most impressive?
I was super excited for the last 2 weeks for AJ and Vern. Obviously, the two most powerful guys here. They knocked everybody out. Could AJ take the shot once we found out who won the coin toss? And if he could take the shot, could he knock Vern out? I mean, that thing couldn't have played out any more like the way we were. The questions were all answered tonight in that fight. And then the main event, looked like, Darius, the only guy Wolverine ever lost to was Darius. Was it going to happen again? He takes Darius' slap and then knocks Darius out with his first slap. I mean, it's just, Vince couldn't script this shit. It was so good.
No, absolutely. AJ is a custodian in a cardboard factory. I'm sure you've worked with, many millionaires. These guys are real down-to-earth people.
Yeah.
What does it mean for you to be able to improve the lives of all these individuals?
Well, that's the thing about all the people who are shitting on this thing and hating on it. I mean, these people that came and competed, first of all, these are all grown men and women who make their own decisions on wanting to compete in this sport, right? Number one. Number two, these guys are changing, their families' lives. I mean, some of these guys, Frank, what kind of a number did somebody walk away with tonight that probably made the most for tonight? Yeah. I'm going to walk out of here with $45,000. You know what I mean? And no, we're going to have the stories written tomorrow. Oh, this is disgusting. These people did this for $45,000. That's how this shit works. Some of these guys probably don't make $45,000 a year. They made it in one night. And now, we're on our way, and this thing's going to grow. I mean, it started out, it used to drive Lorenzo Fertitta crazy when we first started the UFC. Everybody who competed here had jobs. So they would have to go, train for this thing and do all this shit, and they had to go back to work when they were done competing here. But that's how things start. That's how, it's the way you start a business. And the people who came here in March to watch the first test fight that we did, I said, watch what we do with this thing in the next several months. And now I'll tell you all here tonight, watch what we do with this thing in the next 2 years.
Have you spoken to anyone from the commission, and what is their response on how tonight went?
Yeah, no, I haven't. I'd ask them that. I'm not going to answer for the commission, but what I can say is I thank the commission for their hard work and everything they did to make tonight a successful night. A lot of talk about health and safety, a lot of uneducated people about, the combat sports, and a lot of doctors who like to get attention. But the bottom line is we go above and beyond since day one on health and safety here. And we're doing the same thing with SLAP. And, you know, the commission, this is the best commission in the world. I say it all the time. And I'm not just saying that because there have been times that I've had my issues with this commission. But there's been really strong times for the commission. There's been weaker times. We're at a very strong, you know, point in time again for the Nevada State Athletic Commission, and I respect the shit out of them.
When you started this, did you ever think the numbers that came in tonight would be where they are?
Yeah, I did. So just like the UFC, when I believed that it could be what it is today, when I saw 350 million views on these events that look like, you know, they were in a barn, I knew that if we brought legitimacy to it, production value, storylines, and all the things that we're the best at doing, it could be, you know, I mean, shit, if we came out and pulled 350 million views leading up to we're over 1 billion just on one platform. I mean, I don't know if any of you are really wrapping your head around how big this is. I mean, we beat the NFL Super Bowl week by double. So if the NFL did 7 million, we did 14. We beat the WWE by double. We beat the UFC by double. I mean, we crushed everything on social media. 7 weeks ago, this shit didn't exist, and we've done over 1 billion views. You fucking wrapping your head around that? I mean, it's a success level that's undescribable.
What would you like to tell aspiring slappers?
What's the question?
What would you like to tell aspiring athletes that would like to come into slap fighting?
Well, I don't think I need to. I mean, everybody knows what we do here. If you look at what we've done for the sport of mixed martial arts, it's literally what we're going to do for slap. So, you know, anybody who is into this, likes it, wants to do it, and like I say, there's people that aren't going to like it. And it's what I used to say about the UFC. It's no problem. You don't have to like it. Don't watch it. It's that easy. I don't like fucking golf. You know what I do? I don't watch it, and I don't play it. So I never even think about it. It doesn't bother me at all because I don't fucking bother with it.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Hey, Dana.
Hey.
Lorenzo was in the house. How is his reaction to power slap?
Listen, those guys are my ride or dies. So, again, much like the UFC, I hit them up and said, I got an idea. And they said, we're in. You know, we love being in business with each other and, you know, give us more opportunities to hang out and spend some time together and have some fun together. So let me tell you what, these days, not much gets Lorenzo out of the house. Lorenzo goes to Station Casinos, does his thing, and that dude's in bed by like 8 o'clock at night. So to get him out and get him back at an event is awesome. I love having him around.
How surprised were you that Ron put Darius down with one slap?
Shocked. You know what I mean? It's what's so exciting about live sports, though. It doesn't matter if it's fucking football, basketball, boxing, MMA. When you get live sports, you never know what's going to happen, man.
Hasbulla was here last night. He didn't slap Marky Mark. There's a video coming out. Were you surprised he didn't slap Mark Wahlberg?
He wouldn't slap Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
He said, I won't slap you. I like you. Fucking slaps everybody, but he won't slap Mark Wahlberg. Hasbulla's awesome. It was good to have him here. He flew out here for this event. And, yeah, we've had fun with him this week. And the Nelk boys have been, you know, I mean, what the Nelk boys have done for this guy is unbelievable. When the Nelk boys went out to Russia, this is how powerful Hasbulla is. The Nelk boys went out to Russia, and they did all this cool shit with him, and they said, you know what, we're gonna make a Hasbulla full send T-shirt. They did. They sold like $500,000 worth of Hasbulla T-shirts in like 48 hours, something ridiculous like that, and they gave him half the money for the stuff. So we did a deal with Hasbulla. We signed him to a deal. He's going to be in the video game, and he gets his own fight kit, you know, and he got paid for that. So that dude's doing some cool shit and making some big money, and couldn't happen to a nicer kid. I like him.
2 last questions for me. For anybody, for anyone that's saying that you don't care about the UFC anymore and that you're only putting your time and effort into Power Slap, what do you say to those people?
Do I even need to answer that question? I mean, come on. Listen, anybody that wants to talk shit can come up with anything. No, and this is what I say this all the time. People have no fucking idea what I really do and what I don't do, and they don't know anything about this business. Nobody knows anything about this business. If they did, they'd be doing what we do. The UFC, we're coming off one of the biggest weekends in the company's history. The #1 social fight of all time. It beat Conor and Habib, right? The gate, the this, the that. It was like the 4th largest event that we've ever done. Tonight was a sellout over at the Virgin. What the fuck else do I need to do? What else would you people like me to do? You know what I mean? If we weren't selling tickets, we weren't putting on fights people wanted to see, sponsorship wasn't through the fucking roof, and the list goes on, maybe you'd have something. Shut the fuck up and mind your business. That's what I have to say about that. Now that I think about it, that's what I'll say.
And finally, Peter Yan suffered his third straight loss. What do you think he goes from here?
Yeah, listen, he's still one of the best guys in the world. He fought a guy in Marab tonight who was extremely motivated, and like I said, Jan usually sets the pace in these fights. Starts a little slow, but then turns it on and grinds out victories. Tonight, that's what Marab did. But Peter's still one of the best in the world. So, when you have #2 versus #3, when you lose, you can't say, "Oh, wow, this guy's washed up," or maybe he doesn't have it anymore. You just fought one of the best guys in the world.
Hi, Dana.
Hi.
I just have two. I want to know when you're going to have a women's title match.
A women's? Yeah, we're working on that. It'll be interesting to see when we cast for Abu Dhabi how that plays out. I'm sure we'll find some women over there. Yeah.
Next question. When do you think you're going to have some fans in the arena? I had a lot of people reaching out asking for tickets, so people definitely want to come see it in person.
Selling tickets? Is that the question? Yeah. Yeah, so much like season 1, the March event that we did, put this thing on TBS. We built a digital plan and a social plan around it. This was all a big test to see what worked, what didn't work. And, like I said, this is all a work in progress. Just like, if you watch the early days of the UFC, I played with the production forever. It took 22 years to get the production to where we are today. And now we're a lot better and smarter about that stuff. That's why, what did you guys think of the live production for your first time? Last March was our first one. We didn't know what the hell. I didn't know we want a platform, we want a stage, we wanted this, we wanted that. And we kept playing with it, tweaking it, coming up with ideas. And I think we got to a really good place tonight for the first event. We did the rehearsal on Thursday. The rehearsal went very well. I was very happy with the rehearsal. So I knew tonight wouldn't be perfect, but it would be better than Thursday. So I'm really happy with the way it went tonight, and we'll continue to just get better and better. And we'll also, I said a ton of shit, but I didn't answer your question. So now we start figuring out, do we do a few in the Apex when do we start traveling it? If we do, where do we go? And how do we, it's just, there's so much work that needs to be done to figure out all these different questions that need to be answered.
I'd love to see the coin toss like minutes before the slapping. That's my one thing that I'd love to see.
You want to see the coin toss?
The coin toss, right before they slap, so they don't have a lot of time to prepare.
The problem is, the reason we can't do that is because for gambling.
People will bet on who wins the coin toss.
What's that? Yeah, they could still bet on that probably, but you got to do it earlier so that you have time to, again, brand new sport. They got to make lines for this stuff. And there was a lot of action on this thing tonight. Lorenzo told me that there was actually a lot of action. No big money bet on it, but lots of action. So that's a really good start, too. Then the great question. I forgot to address that. All the books took it. And the other thing is, and I told you guys this before, is this works on social media, and it's really good in bars. So all the big chains had this tonight. I'm sure you saw us posting it, from Buffalo Wild Wings to Hooters to PT's Pubs here in Las Vegas. All the casinos took it. So for something, again, that's only 7 weeks old, pretty huge to be in all these bars and on all these different platforms. It's been a good couple months. Go ahead.
Dana, right here. There was quite a few celebrities here for the first live event. How does it feel to have so many well-known people not just take an interest in Power Slap, but also just want to come to the live event, the first ever one?
Yeah, great question. It was awesome, and a lot of influential people online, from the Nelk Boys, Aiden Ross, Bulzarian, Risk House. I mean, I could go on and on for all the influencers that were in here tonight. So, yeah, I'm obviously thrilled about it. And like these guys, like Aiden Ross flew in from Miami to come to this fight, and he's flying back out tonight, I think. So, yeah, huge. Nelk Boys, I mean, those guys never stop. They were just in Israel, and they came back for this thing. So, yeah. I really appreciate the support.
Now you said you're like psychotic with live events. You had 2 just today. You had a successful one at Virgin Hotels, and you had one here. Is it one of those things where like you just want to sit back and smell the roses, just of how successful like just this day was?
Yeah, there's not a lot of people that can pull off what this company can pull off. I remember, before COVID, we canceled that event in Las Vegas and moved to California on like Christmas Eve, and pulled off an event there a couple days after Christmas. 2 events in one night, in the same city, and the list goes on and on. I have such an incredible, badass crew here that will run through walls to make stuff happen. Talented, hardworking, and I love them. I love them all.
Thanks, Dana.
Thank you, brother.
Hey, Dana, when it comes to the numbers, and you mentioned all of the social numbers that you have, are you guys looking at the demographics or even the specific countries and seeing where is this even bigger than in the United States?
Yeah, great question. This thing, Philippines, Thailand, India, where else was some big? Canada. Oddly enough, Canada, big. What else was another big market for us that was crazy? Australia, the UK. Yeah. We can already see where this thing's starting to click and starting to grow. And we have so much more data now than we did in the early days of the UFC. So it's gonna help us out a lot.
And then to keep the content machine growing, do you think for maybe season 2 in Abu Dhabi that you could keep the idea of like Dana White looking for a fight going around in other countries, maybe if you had the time for that?
Dana White looking for a fight type show for these other countries?
Yeah, for Slap Fight, maybe in some other countries before season 2.
Well, it's this thing's so young and so new. You do 2 more seasons, do a season 1 year, you do another season another year. And I think you got to pump the brakes and slow it down a little bit. And I think this will be perfect. Like I said to you guys earlier, watch what happens in the next 2 years with this thing. And if you look at the progression of the UFC, we started on Spike TV with a deal. From Spike TV, we went to Fox. From Fox, we went to ESPN. And this will play out the same way, except I believe that the Spikes, Foxes, and ESPNs will end up being social platforms. Everything's heading that way. So check this out. I had the UNLV baseball team came in and toured the headquarters and then went to the PI. So I put them all in the media room at the PI, and I was answering questions for them. They had probably asked me 10 questions. 6 of them were Power Slap. Okay? So I'm like, holy shit. You guys are all asking me. I said, how many of you have not seen Power Slap? Not one kid raised their hand. The whole team had seen it, right? And then I asked them, who's the oldest guy on the team? The oldest guy on the team was 24 years old. I said, how many of you watched it on TV? Not one person. These fucking kids do not watch TV. So there was a lot of criticism about the TV ratings. These people are so full of shit. It's fucking. First of all, what do any of these fucking people know about TV ratings? Number one. And like I told you, the thing averaged 317,000 viewers on TBS with zero advertising from the network. Zero, right? We held 50% of the AEW audience. And the night that Kyrie moved over to Dallas, and Dallas played the Clippers that night, that game was on ESPN. What had more publicity and attention on it than Kyrie moving to Dallas? That game did 570,000 viewers. We did 317,000 at the same exact time that game. That was on ESPN, and we were on TBS. We were number 2 with men on all of television that night. They were number 1. That's an incredible fucking number, especially when this thing skews so much younger, and none of these people are watching TV. These kids don't watch TV. None of them. They watch their phones or they watch shit on the computer.
Again, you mentioned the TV numbers, and I'm glad you did. With those ratings, do you think that maybe, not that it doesn't matter, but now that you know where you can pivot for season 2 and maybe just make it a specific social? I know you have that 2-year deal with Rumble, but maybe it could just be a TikTok exclusive going in the future, something like that.
Yeah, I don't know how this thing's going to play out. You know, we're fucking thrilled with the Rumble deal. We're very happy to be on Rumble, and they're the perfect platform for us right now. You know, like I said, this whole thing has been like a, several-month test, because we go back to last March when we really started kicking this thing around and playing with it. So this has all been a test. There's no doubt. I mean, you don't have to be a fucking rocket scientist to figure out where this thing should air and where it should be. So we're in the right place at the right time. Rumble is our Spike TV when we started on Spike. Literally perfect. Perfect for us. I'm thrilled.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, just a quick one, Dana. What did you think of the John Davis and Azael knockout when he actually fell and hit his head on the table?
It was unbelievable. First of all, if you watch the season, how many of you in here actually watched the season? Did anybody actually watch the season? Yeah, handful of you. So if you watch the season, that was one of the storylines that plays out during the show. You know, Azael was a nightmare at the house, but every time he showed up, he delivered and he won. You know, he got here, he deserved to be here, and that was an incredible knockout. So the way a lot of these storylines played out tonight, it's crazy. It's amazing.
And do you think we're going to see Russell versus AJ too?
Russell versus?
AJ, Static.
I don't know. I mean, these are all. Let me throw this one at you. I don't make fights the night of the fight, so I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Hey, Dana.
Hey, buddy.
I spoke to one ringside physician a couple of months ago who said at that time there wasn't enough data to say one way or another whether slap fighting or power slap is safe. But after the way that this season has played out, are you happy with the safety aspect of the sport?
Was I happy with what? Oh, that's the only thing that matters to us. First comes safety, then comes finding talent, then comes the live event and the TV.
Is that something you'd still want to tweak?
Tweak?
Yeah.
I think as this thing continues to evolve, we'll all get smarter. We'll all know more about it. But the thing that you have to understand when we talk about safety, and I just can't understand how people can't wrap their heads around this. But in this sport, they get to defend themselves. Okay, 300 to 400 punches a fight is what a boxer takes, right? And that's before, forget about all the sparring he did just to get there, okay? The amount of punishment that those guys take. And when you watch some of the fights, the wars that went on tonight over at the Virgin, right? These guys come in and take 3 or less slaps per event, and they go through the same exact medical testing that all these guys do. And boxing, in the time that the Zuffa era UFC has existed, there's been 0 deaths and 0 serious injuries. There's been 34 deaths in boxing. So if you really want to go after something, right, and you really want to point the finger and go, we need to do better at this and we need to clean this up, boxing is the sport that you need to go after. And I'm not trying to throw them under the bus. This is a fucking fact, you know? And the people that are talking this shit about the health and safety have an agenda, don't like slap, or are uneducated about combat sports, or want attention.
One of the people I spoke to about safety was a neuroscientist, and he was really against it, but he was citing the fencing response where your arms kind of stiffen.
Right.
But I don't know if it's a quirk of me coming here tonight. I didn't see any of that tonight. Have the rules changed, or what? Why didn't we see that tonight?
So here's the thing. When you hear about these guys that's a neurological doctor or, you know, one of these guys, I bet if you did your research, I bet they don't like football either. And I bet they don't like boxing. And they probably don't like hockey. And they probably don't like MMA. These are guys that are saying nobody should be allowed to take a blow to the head. Then you start getting into telling grown adults what they can and can't do, which is fucking ridiculous and completely un-American, in my opinion. But these people exist. So it's easy to throw out, you know, somebody's writing a story about slap, and it's like, so you get this guy that starts saying, oh, they land in the this, that, and the brain injuries and all this other shit. But they don't say, oh, and by the way, this guy doesn't want people playing football or doing all these other sports either. But I guarantee you that's probably the case.
But tonight, why did we not see any of the fencing response? Has the safety improved, or is it just like more slap fighters are adhering to the rule set that is laid out that we had in front of our desks earlier?
Well, I think what's happening in what you saw tonight, those of you, how many of you were here for the March event? One guy. That's fucking hilarious. The March event was a shit show, okay? We didn't know what we were doing. The commission didn't know what they were doing. And most of the guys who were competing didn't know what they were doing. It was a test run so we could see how this thing kind of plays out. Because before then, we'd all only seen it on the internet. None of us were at a live slap event or had ever put one on before that. And, you know, we went through the test, and realistically, Darius and Wolverine really helped us a lot in putting together the rules and teaching the fighters what to do and how to train and how to stand properly and how to swing and how to slap. So there wasn't a lot of clubbing and a lot of, you know, flinching and big mistakes. I wouldn't say that the safety of it has improved in any way, shape, or form. I mean, from day one, we went above and beyond to make sure that this thing was safe. I would just say that the participants are getting better. And, I mean, people are still saying now, holy shit, look at me and Rogan were talking about this like 3 weeks ago. The level of talent in the UFC right now just seems to get better and better and better every year. And, you know, so it's going to happen here too. Guess what, though? People are going to get hit and people are going to get knocked out. This is a combat sport. And here's the thing, too. When the people that say, you shouldn't call this a sport, and it's definitely not a combat sport and all this shit. If you can get knocked out, it's a combat sport.
I know you really like the social numbers, one of the reasons you got into it, but like tonight, the live experience was pretty impressive. People wanting to get tickets, like how blown away with you with the live event experience out there?
Did you just say the live experience was excellent?
I thought it was, yeah.
Well, thank you. And now about selling tickets, like I said to her earlier, this is all still a work in progress for us. We got a lot of stuff to figure out. The show is a complete success. Tonight was a complete success in every way that it could be successful. But now we got to dig in and we got to figure out a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of work to do still.
I want to really put you on the spot now, but what's your problem with golf?
That's a great question. Just not my thing. Not my thing. I hate it. Think it's boring. I wouldn't want to go walk around a fucking golf course all day and fucking hit a ball into a hole. It's just not my thing. But millions of people love it. So you know what I do? I don't watch it. I don't play it. And I don't pay any attention to it. And you know what I also don't do? I don't run around fucking telling people, you shouldn't be fucking doing this. It sucks. And do your thing. You know? When you get these lunatics that zero in on something and start telling grown adults that they shouldn't be doing it, you're a bit fucking nutty. There's something a little wrong with you. You know what I mean? And, there's been a lot of that for Power Slap. But like I said the other day at the press conference, these freaks have literally helped me blow this thing up and turn it into a machine over the last 8 weeks. So fire away. Knock yourself out. Keep going. New York Times writing stories. I love it. I love when they write stories. The looniest, nuttiest fucking people in the world. I love when they write stories.
Thanks, Dana.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Having a UFC event and a Power Slap event at the same day, is there something we can expect seeing again? Does it make sense for you? Did it work out good for you and your whole team?
I would believe that my team would murder me if I do this again. There will be a coup over at the office, and I will be overthrown. I can't keep doing this to my people. No, it's been a rough couple months, and yes, I will probably not do this again. But maybe I will. Who knows? I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. But yeah, these people have been getting murdered over the last several weeks.
Okay. There's a Brazilian fighter called Zuluzinho. He fought in Pride back those days, and now he fights slap tournaments in Russia. Would he be a good name for the next season in Abu Dhabi?
I don't know. I mean, that's what I'm interested to find out. I mean, obviously tonight I'm laying it out there and letting people know. Right now it's tough to get people into the United States with all the crazy shit that's going on in the world. But we can get everybody into Abu Dhabi. So I can literally find the best talent from all over the world, fly them in, and do season 2. So I'm looking forward to it. And maybe he is a guy for us.
Perfect. Last one for me. Rafael Assunção, he retired tonight.
Oh, did he really? I didn't know that.
He did. I would just like to hear some words from you about him. How important was for him in UFC?
He's a nice guy. Obviously, he held a very high ranking in that division for a long time. Was right there. Was always like right on the cusp. And but great guy, great competitor. We were happy to have him here, and I wish him all the best in his retirement. You guys done with me? Yep.
Just a couple for me, Dana. It was kind of piggybacking on his when he was asking if you would do a slap on the same night as a fight night.
Mm-hmm.
Long term, how closely do you want slap kind of associated with UFC? I mean, obviously UFC has a huge reach, and to get this kind of launched, it made sense to marry the two. But just kind of talk about the pluses and negatives of maybe kind of, do you want these two brands to be real closely associated, or do you think it's important that they live separately? Like what is kind of your idea on the relationship between the two?
Yeah, well,
5, 4.
Obviously I'm involved in both, so they're always going to be closely associated as long as I'm involved in both of them. But the thing is shown that it obviously can stand on its own. I mean, it's beating the UFC on the UFC's platform, which is fascinating. Did I say that tonight already? Did I tell you that the worst post for So there's a much bigger story to this. Building this whole sports platform right now that I'll tell you guys when it's ready to tell you, but yeah, no, I got a lot of shit going on. So I don't think that we're really aligning this with the UFC. The only thing that really aligns with the UFC is that I'm involved in both of them.
And then just last one, Oscar had asked some of the fighters about, because you had mentioned tweaking some rules and stuff, and so he had asked them if they had any opinions. And I thought AJ's was pretty interesting. He said that on the first slap, if a guy gets hit and is deemed he's done, but if he's deemed still good enough where he shouldn't take another shot, but he can throw one, so that way you don't lose without getting to throw a shot. I guess I thought that was interesting. What is your thought on it, or do you think that creates suspense that you can be done after one shot?
Yeah, no, that's a great question, and yes, it's the fact that you do get to slap back if you're well enough to slap back. It's just not a one and done, and that was one of the. I had this argument with Kevin Iole tonight earlier. You know, Aioli was like, this is, you know, the guy who wins the coin toss wins the fight. One slap and it's over. You saw tonight that that's not the case. You know, it's a lot more competitive than people think. And tonight couldn't have shown that any better. I mean, Vern destroys everybody when he hits him. AJ took that shot, was able to recover, and actually knocks Vern out. It's just, yeah. But great question, and the answer is yes. Yeah, it's one of the cool, fun things about the rules. That it? Seriously, I appreciate you guys coming tonight. I know I beat on the media a lot, but it means a lot to me that you guys came tonight, and I really appreciate it. Have a good one.